Welcome to our new viewers. A lot of folks are talking about Newsmax TV these days. We appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome. And even thank you to the President of the United States, who's been retweeting us left and right lately, urging folks to leave Fox and come over to Newsmax. So again, welcome and thank you, Mr. President. That was very nice. Why is he doing that? And why are people coming over here? Well, you may have heard we have not yet called this election. You know why? Because it's not over. There are lawsuits, there are recounts, all kinds of litigation. Why should we call it? President should not concede. He's pursuing every avenue available to him, as he should. There is very reasonable suspicion of all kinds of shenanigans out there. I think ultimately he will prevail. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We'll report that. But right now, this is still an open race, and we'll treat it accordingly. Now, too many in the media, I don't know what it is about them. Their heads get so big, they don't want to report on history. They want to make history. Quite frankly, that's not part of the job. That brings me to Fox. I mean, even this staging looks a little bit, wow, who are they? I mean, are they the presidents? They're doing this in the Lincoln Memorial? Seems a little sacrilegious to me. I worked there like a dozen years ago or so. Nice people, but they got bosses, and who knows what they're being told. But they're being told stuff that I don't quite frankly understand. And I think they're doing some things a little thoughtlessly. Take this set, by the way, kind of cookie cutter in a way, very flashy. Fox News, Democracy 2020. Fox News, Democracy 2020. Couple of things. You know, they called Arizona way too early during the campaign. They had all kinds of polls that showed the president behind, too far behind. Wasn't actually true. Got me thinking to that word democracy. When I was in sixth grade, it's one of the few things I remember from sixth grade. I learned about the pharaohs and we learned about the ancient Greeks. And the word democracy, the root of it is demo, the people. Democracy, the people decide these things. Not media elites, not pundits on TVs, the people. And the people have spoken. Let's find out what they actually said. Doesn't that sound reasonable? Okay. Because I'm kind of tired of being censored and having content that I want to see be censored. Why are so many places doing that? Big tech, we know about that problem. But again, with the Fox, this happened a couple of days ago, but when I finally sat down and caught it, wow.
We want an honest, accurate, lawful count. We want maximum sunlight. We want maximum transparency. We want every legal vote to be counted, and we want every illegal vote to be...
I just think we have to be very clear. She's charging, the other side is welcoming fraud and welcoming illegal voting. Unless she has more details to back that up, I can't in good countenance continue showing you this.
I can't in good countenance. She's talking about maximum transparency. What does he think we're going to do if we hear that information? Jump out the window, burn things down? Some people might, who knows, but I mean, it's just not their call. Very strange decisions being made over there. And they do have significant ramifications. Right now, Joe Biden is pretending to be the president-elect. And it's a little bit sad because deep down, I kind of have the sense that their side is worried. They know they haven't won this thing fair and square. That's my sense. I'm just watching the body languages and watching their tempo. I mean, Joe didn't do anything today. He didn't do anything. He had a phone call, I believe, with the Pope. I mean, it's like he still has a lid on his president election phase, or whatever they want to call it, the transition phase. Again, he's not the president-elect. The electors will decide that next month. And you know what else really bothered me about this phase? Hunter Biden. Did you see how quickly he came out to see his father on election night? Or when was that? Saturday, when they had that celebration, which may or may not signify anything. There's Hunter. I understand, firstborn son, or no, I guess he's second-born son. But anyway, big moment for the family. But there were so many questions about Hunter. He was essentially in hiding. Joe didn't face any questions that we were all thinking, but he somehow was on the debate stage and wasn't asked about that laptop, wasn't asked about Burisma, how they got away with it, and there he is, like it's dinner time. Something very, very strange. We were let down. So back to Joe. He's maintaining a schedule like he just completed 2 terms in office, and he's calling it a career. He's not a man on the move at all. Do you remember when Donald Trump was president-elect? All right? He was meeting with everybody. He met with Kanye West. Remember that? Kanye West. He also met with, Mitt Romney. He met with all of his enemies. He did. That is unifying the country. There he is with the New York Times. At least he tried to. Meanwhile, Joe Biden, he talks about it. He just talks about it. Like the president said, all talk and no action. And again, serious lack of energy. I think something's up. I really do. And he's even less confident than he used to be. And the energy, it's not there. We've seen this before, but I don't know. I think there's something even more disturbing about it now.
Now I'm told that we're going to have, we're going to take 5 questions or thereabout. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. During the campaign,
Something I noticed about this too later, he seemed to be reading from the questions as they were being asked. Like he had a book that was guiding him, 5 questions exactly, and he seemed to be ready for him and was looking at the book when he was responding. Very strange. Office of President-elect, it's a sham. He's not the President-elect. But remember, lying and deception, they do come very, very easy to Joe Biden. It's happened throughout his career, and I still don't understand why the mainstream media has let him get away with it in recent years. Back when he first ran for president, they called him out. Check out this moment.
What law school did you attend, and where did you place in that class? And the other question is, could you quickly, I think
I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect. I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. In the first year in law school, I decided I didn't want to be in law school and ended up in the bottom 2/3 of my class, and then decided I wanted to stay, went back to law school, and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I won the international moot court competition. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only need 123 credits, and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
And a smug little smile at the end. Now, we played that clip before, and you've seen the media from back then. They debunked everything he said. Everything he just said was not true. But I found another clip, and it's funny. He smiles when he lies, and he smiles when he gets caught lying. Now, you'll remember, did you catch it? He said he graduated in the top half of his law school class. Listen to Joe explain a couple of weeks after this where he really graduated when he got caught.
And what you do is you're divided into groups, and there were 30 people started off in my class. We ended up graduating, I think, 86 or 87. I graduated 76 out of that bunch.
76 out of 87, and there he is in public saying he graduated in the top half of his class. I'm sorry, but lying does obviously come very, very easy to this individual, and that's why I believe he is going along with this deception, that he is the president-elect of the United States. But let's face it, not only Democrats want Donald Trump out, so do a lot of those top-tier swamp Republicans, like this guy, Karl Rove, Turd Blossom. That's not my nickname for him. That's his buddy's nickname for him, George W. Bush, some Texas thing with cow dung and flowers, whatever. But that was his nickname. And he wrote in the Wall Street Journal that it's over for Donald Trump. And the mainstream media took the bait.
Karl Rove making it clear in the Wall Street Journal there's no evidence of fraud that would overturn the election.
Even Karl Rove wrote tonight that, quote, this election result won't be overturned.
Karl Rove, remember him? He penned an op-ed saying this is over.
Karl Rove, of all people, just came out with an op-ed saying this race is over. Just stop it.
they should all just stop it, really. Karl Rove, of all people, like, he's a good Republican. He would not go against Donald Trump. He hates Donald Trump. I'll get to that part in a moment. First, I'm going to tell you about my beef with Karl Rove. He was one of the architects of the Iraq War. He read a few books about the Middle East and thought it would be a great idea that we'd be greeted as liberators. He helped the president plan it. He helped sell it to Congress. And to this day, he thinks he did not make a mistake. I spent a lot of time in Iraq. If you added it all up, I was there for about a year. I'm on the right without a helmet. And I knew before, during, and after that the United States had made a terrible, terrible, grave, tragic, strategic mistake. And you know who else knew that? This brings it back to Karl Rove and Donald Trump. And there's Karl Rove with David Axelrod. These guys are all about money. There's Karl Rove, the conservative, and David Axelrod, the liberal who works for Barack Obama, making money together. It's all about money in the swamp. But this is why Karl Rove really hates Donald Trump. It involves Iraq, and it involves the Bushes. In this case, Jeb Bush. Karl Rove is totally devoted to the Bush family. And when this happened, it was over between Karl Rove, I don't care what he says, and Donald Trump.
Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Now, you can take it any way you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say, and he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake.
I remember that so well when it happened. The clarity, the force, the boldness. Nobody spoke about that. It was the elephant in the room that nobody ever brought up. And Jeb was humiliated by that moment. But Jeb, along with the rest of the Bushes, they're swamp favorites. And in the swamp, you don't really have to mean what you say. It's all about taking care of each other, family, friends, keeping the business going. You can actually say things like this and get applauded for it in the swamp, even while you say you want to destruct the swamp. The swamp knows you really don't. Watch this.
We need a president willing to challenge and disrupt the whole culture in our nation's capital.
Isn't that amazing? Jeb Bush, the son of a president, the brother of the president, saying he's going to go to Washington to bust up D.C. and take apart the culture. He is the culture. It's incredible. Totally incredible. Anyway, Karl Rove, I highly recommend that you dismiss his observations about the political situation. The president is way he's in this fight, and he's got lots of options. This is an interesting way to actually show you, though, what he's up against in the swamp. This movie came out in 1993, and if you want to understand a little bit more about what Donald Trump is up against and how he operates down there, this is the deal. Kevin Kline is playing the president, and he goes rogue. He decides to defy his staff, defy the swamp, and do what's right by the American people. Watch how it plays out.
A couple things I'd like to go over in the budget.
Do we have anything on the budget today?
No, I don't think so. Now, I think I found some ways to put back the homeless section of the Simpson-Garner Works bill.
Mr. President, I don't believe that's on your agenda today.
No, it's a last-minute change, Bob.
Right there. That's a swamp telling the president no. That could be Donald Trump right there sitting. Next scene.
We've got 17 defense contractors who are delinquent in their contracts. Is this true, Frank?
I believe so, yes.
So even though they're late, we keep paying them on time.
Well, in a sense. Yeah.
If we took that cash and stuck it in even an ordinary savings account, we'd be making $23 million a month in interest.
Well, technically that's true, but...
Ma'am, I suppose it's true.
Okay. Okay.
And you see that guy getting so mad in the back there? Okay, final scene, watch.
Carry the one makes $656 million, which means we can keep the program.
That guy right there. That is the swamp. That's a thinner version of Karl Rove, okay? And they hate Donald Trump because he plays by his own rules, and he's committed to us, not to them. Dave came out in 1993. I think he plays a Democrat, but there are things that we can still learn from.